should I say, probably good evening or good afternoon or good morning to whatever time zone you're in, and welcome to the first installment of Ark News. My name is Jacob. I am British. I am 23. I live in Essex, England. Yes, I have to say Essex, England for international viewers, if we get any, that is. I'm mainly doing this for my tribe because I post very long messages on our messaging group and it's getting rather boring. So rather than doing a very long message, they're going to listen to my voice instead. And this takes as long as it takes. So this is the first one of many that they're going to get. This is about a month or two of compiling. I got very ill last month and couldn't do September's. So this is September's and October's Ark News. So this is everything that they reveal, tell us, information, everything about the updates, everything you need to know, some things like what's coming, interesting stuff, all that jazz. I don't know whether this is going to be something that's going to catch on. I don't know whether you guys are going to enjoy it, but we're going to go along with the ride. So, let's get into it. We're going to start with Genesis, and the latest is it's delayed till January. That's the news. Quite short and sweet. Obviously, we got the information on Genesis, I think feels like a lifetime ago. I think it was September. It was when Genesis was announced. So, and they said it was going to be this December. Boy, were they wrong. So they've announced it'll be January 2020, and the people who announced it were in fact the founders of Wildcard themselves, who said that they were going to delay it. Only because I think there's a slight problem with a PC and Xbox deployment, so I think it's because what they're trying to do is quite revolutionary, which I'll talk about in the quality of life section, which is coming up, but they want to merge both the PC and Xbox, PC and console, so that updates and new content is released at the same time, so that way no one misses out, so that way everyone gets the same stuff. So effectively, if one thing is taking longer, then PC should get it first. So seems to be a problem, as always. It's Wildcard. There's always a problem. So, that probably brings us to quality of life. You've probably heard me talk about this on the parties. That's our tribe, that is. And if you're watching this, wanting to know about Ark News, this is quite a big thing that Ark are looking at the moment, especially Sed, who's our community manager. Shout out to Sed. He's great. Follow him on Twitter. I do. He basically announced, share with us what do you want us to look at, as in stuff that you're having issues with daily, stuff that is a bugbear. There's many that something that isn't something that is a known problem, that isn't something that needs something new adding, but something that is part of the game that needs fixing. Basically, it's called quality of life issue, or QOL. Cool, probably not how you say it. I'm going to go with cool issue. So there's a big long list. It's a Google spreadsheet. There's about 150 odd. Some are archived, some are completed. There's only about 10 completed ones. Some aren't completed yet. There are some very, 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 very interesting quality of life issues, and the more interesting ones that we have, there's some more interesting things. So things like some more stuff from Structures Plus to come, which I know there's a couple of tribe members who are crying out for Structures Plus to be finished, because it isn't the same as PC. There is cloaking devices. They're on the quality of life issue. tech ATVs. They're on the quality of life issue, believe it or not. Things like upside down snapping tech sloped walls, which if you've ever tried to build upside down tech sloped walls, don't know sloped wall will snap upside down. They just don't do it. I don't know why. Everything else can snap upside down, just not a sloped tech wall. So you can't build something curved or an enterprise. So you can't snap anything. There's just no way of snapping anything upside down. No way of snapping a tech wall upside down. You can do it on PC, but not on console. So it's something they're looking to. A lot of it is stuff you can do on PC that you can't do on console. So a lot of the stuff on quality of life issues are stuff that you can't do on PC that you can do on console. So that's basically quality of life issues. That's how they go. But, you know, and I took the opportunity to share what my quality of life issues were. Most of it was to do with the snap point selection, because I don't believe that the system works, because it's just, you know, you just push a button and expect it to select the right one for you to snap, and it never seems to work for me. So, yeah, that's sort of how they go and what sort of happens. And so, you know, believe me when I say this, and I'll say this in the what's coming next bit, you know, they are always working on stuff, and no one ever quite believes me, but they are, and they want everything fixed, and they want the game to work, and we just have to go along with it, I suppose, and hope and pray that it works eventually. So yes, that is the quality of life issues. There are more. There is a big list. I won't bore you with the whole list, because some of the list are silly things that we really don't want. But some of them, like, you know, the glass, the glass structure out of Structures Plus, which is, so from the way I understand it, glass structure is basically a blank wall of glass, from the way I understand it, and it is basically it's a wall of glass, and it doesn't allow greenhouse, so it doesn't allow things to grow, but it does look very nice on buildings and things, so you can build really cool stuff, but it's only on PC, of course, and on Primitive Plus. So if you have Primitive Plus, yay, you have glass, but we don't have it, because not everyone plays on Primitive Plus, of course. So yes, that is something that they're looking to add for Structures Plus. What's next on my list? Oh yes, Community Crunches. So every week on Tuesday at about midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, Cedric does what they call a community crunch, which is basically easiest way to describe it is a newsletter. It's basically a massive document, not massive, but it's a document of stuff that they want the latest news of what's coming next. And recently, every community crunch has had a new, they call it Mysterious Mysteries, which is basically a new creature that's coming in Genesis. So each time a new community crunch announces, they announce this weird, I think they call it what's it called? Mine's gone blank. It's called it's a little note thing. I can't remember what it's called. I don't know what it's called. Oh dear. This is hilarious. What's it called? I'm going to have to Google it on my phone. I was half expecting Danny to call during this, and he hasn't. bear with me while I Google. Talk amongst yourselves. Ark. What do they? Dossier. That's it. Dossier. Didn't even need to finish Googling it. So they have a new dossier picture. And that is basically, it's supposed to reveal part of it. So like there's been like giant wasp and some other creatures that I can't remember the names of off the top of my head. Other things like on the horizon, which has been some other stuff. A lot of the stuff they tweet about and send us about is about the official network. Now, for those of us who aren't privileged enough to have private servers, the official network is what they play on. Basically, I've not been unfortunate enough to play on that. I've been fortunate to play on the private network, which is better. So a lot of it, like Vulgaro transfers, that doesn't affect us at all because, their server's going down again. That doesn't affect us either. So it's, completely, it switches from, we do it completely differently. So what they tweet about and what their community crunches, half of it doesn't relate to us. So it's about sifting through that information, which is what this is about, even though most of this video is probably irrelevant. Anyway, so, yes, so there hasn't been much news. What was in the community crunch, and which is what I'm talking about next, is the Halloween event, which is active now across all of our servers. That's the good news. The lovely news about the Halloween event is that it is active. Danny and Rachel were online last night. This is going to make everyone laugh on our tribe. I tamed about 72 text stickers, all Halloween coloured. Some of them are coming back to rag, but don't tell them. 72 is a lot. So, yes. So the Halloween colours are, as far as I understand it, black, orange, purple, green, a little bit of blue, red, and then you've got numerous masks. There's a couple of new dance emotes, couple of new masks, new skeletal creatures, loads of skeletal costumes, which you get if you kill the skeletal creatures, and you can tame the skeletal creatures the same way, and they're difficult to find most of the times. So yes, you can tame them and everything. So yes. Anything else about Halloween? Oh yes, Halloween has also been extended. Its date was originally to finish on the 5th, but it's been extended to the 8th at the moment. That has been because of certain issues at the start of its deployment. And I suppose you're wondering, what is next for Ark? What's coming next? Well, I don't suppose I need to tell you what the next big event in the calendar is, and I nearly gave it away. So yes, the next big Ark event will probably be Christmas, and from what all the devs and people involved in Wildcard have been saying, they're preparing for a big Christmas for Ark, so that we could be expecting some rather outlandish things because of Genesis not being ready. And obviously we'll have the big Genesis thing, and that's coming in January. So there'll be a big Genesis party probably in 2020. And then, what's coming next also, there may be, Ark is going to change in Genesis. It won't be the same as it is now. It's going to change. It will be bigger. So prepare yourselves. We're in for a ride. So we should see. Now, the next Ark news should be the end of November, if I don't get ill again. So fingers crossed for that. But yes, so see you on the next one, and